That's 23 here. In today's knife therapy, I have for you the Jack Wolf Knives Vampire Jack. This knife goes live this Friday, October 14th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And it comes in 5 different variations this time. You have 3 different carbon fibers and 2 micartas. You have this particular one in the lava flow fat carbon. You can also get it in a dark matter purple fat carbon, or a different type of carbon fiber, the camo carbon Pacific blue. That's just a different manufacturer. The 2 different micartas, you can get it in natural micarta, or you can get it in black canvas micarta. The canvas micarta version is coming at $275, and this particular in the carbon fiber variation is coming at $300. Let's get some quick specs out of the way. You have a total length of 6.9 inches, a blade length of 3 inches, and a cutting edge of 2.7 inches. A handle scale thickness of 0.46, a grip area from here to the back of 3.58, a closed width in the pocket from the 2 widest parts from here to here is 1.03 inches, and your blade stock thickness is coming in at 0.12 inches. The behind the edge thickness on my particular knife ranges from around 10 thousandths to 12 thousandths behind the edge. That is outstanding. All right, let's take a close look at this. You have this absolutely beautiful spear point blade with a belt satin finish, full flat grind. Like I said, it comes down to a nice and thin edge because it has a nice deep hollow grind on there. Absolutely awesome. Has a very needle-like point for piercing or doing drag detailed type work with that tip. You have a half moon nail nick on the show side and nothing on the back side. You have a nice swedge up top that tapers down all the way to that tip. Blade steel is Bowler M390. Which is a super steel, high edge retention, high corrosion resistant steel. Excellent choice for a slip joint. The Jack Wolf knives right there. On the flats you have a stonewash finish. Excellently done sharpening notch. I love how it goes up like that. That'll give you lots of sharpening life before it starts to widen up in the back over here. Now I think it's time to put this blade to the test. The knife came really sharp out of box. I think it's probably the sharpest Jack Wolf knife that I've received so far. And that super thin hollow grind paired with that spear point blade is excellent for these slicing tasks. And I'm trying to see if that odd shaped handle is going to be comfortable doing different types of cutting. So far so good. This is just a light duty cutting. We will step it up along the way. This will be the true test to see how that handle's gonna feel. With just a pine 2x4, and I start out light just to see how that edge is biting into the wood, and it's definitely easy to make fine curls. It wants to bite rather quickly, so I started increasing the pressure more and more, and I was kind of surprised. I didn't really feel that hump as much as I expected. I could feel it was there, but it wasn't uncomfortable. I didn't feel like I needed to put on a glove or anything. And I'll tell you, if something's uncomfortable, I'll feel it rather quickly because my hands, I have nerve damage in my hands, so it's not going to take much to poke into my hand for me to want to put on a glove. Only thing I really noticed, like I do with all slip joints, is the handles are thin, so it's definitely going to fatigue your hand a lot quicker because you're gripping that handle a lot tighter so it doesn't turn or spin in your hand. Not the biggest deal to me. The knife really excelled at the drag cuts, very comfortable in that pinch grip, and has just the perfect amount of belly to cut on a flat surface. You're going to cut in that belly portion. Slicing task, just like butter right there. That thin grind just makes the cutting so much easier. I really wish more companies would grind their blades as thin as this. 12 thousandths, even when this blade starts to dull out, it will still cut most materials, unlike a very obtuse bevel. I threw this new like doubled up webbing in there just to have something new to cut up. It cut that to the tubing easier than I think I've ever cut it before. Blast through this corner cord board, no problem whatsoever. And that edge is still going fairly well. We bought some new denim. I've used it the last few tests, and it's 12-ounce denim. Talk about some rough stuff. It feels like I am cutting up some heavy-duty canvas, and it's definitely hard on the edges. But surprisingly, this one makes it all the way to the end of this, and we'll see if it still has anything left for the twisted sisal rope. The edge definitely didn't feel like it did in the beginning, but it still has some bite to it. I think that is part of the reason, and the other part is that skinnier handle. I'm gripping it kind of tight to do these cuts, having to exert a little bit more pressure downward into the rope to get through it. One thing that I can say is that every Jack Wolf knife that I own, after I finished the testing, I sharpened them up, put a much thinner edge bevel on them, and man, they perform so much better. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that cutting footage. Let's check out this edge after that cutting. Yeah, it's not anywhere near as sharp as it was in the beginning, but I'd say it still has a really good working edge on it. All right, let's listen to this walk and talk. I love the sounds this one makes. You have a flush back spring on the halfway marker and flush in the closed position, and also flush in the open position as well. Look how seamless that is. Beautiful. You can either use the nail nick to open it, which is definitely not my preferred method. He still has enough blade right there where I can still pinch it. It's not the easiest compared to the rest of them, but it can definitely be done. They got a nice positive walk and talk on it. I couldn't rate it because I'm not really a slip joint guy as far as knowing all the terminology, so I will leave that up to some of the other guys that know more about it. Now let's take a look at these handle scales. You have beautiful dark blasted double end bolsters that are fluted, and then you have this beautiful lava flow fat carbon. And I'm not even really a carbon fiber fan, but this stuff, man, it is just stunning. Absolutely void free and gorgeous. The handle is a coffin shaped pattern. All your fitment, like always, is absolutely perfect. No gaps, no high spots. Your centering is absolutely perfect. Let's get a quick weight. First off, in grams, 75.3 grams and 2.65 ounces. Yeah, I didn't even realize it was in the pocket. Quick size comparisons with some of my favorites. We have the Benny's clip, which is a little bit larger, and we have the dog leg, the K9 jack, that is a little bit smaller. Next up, we have the Lion Steel round head and the Jack Wolf Midnight Jack. Both of these are a little bit shorter. It's more closely sized to the Lion Steel. Next, we have the Benchmade Proper and the Buck 55, much closer to the Proper. Now, for my nitpicks and complaints, I don't have much. I say this pretty much all of them. Love to see them put a shallower edge bevel on there. This one's not terrible, and it's sliced really well. I can do it myself, so like I said, it's just a nitpick. I'm not the biggest fan of this, the look of this handle pattern right here, but I can definitely appreciate it, and I like the lava flow carbon fiber on it. Other than that, you know, it's all Jack Wolf knives are super high quality, something that you can hand down to your kids. Yes, they are a premium knife. They're as close to a custom as you can get as far as the handwork that goes into them. They definitely perform well. They're all ground nice and thin. They all have great positive open and closing on them, and they all look stunning as well. So yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing day, and I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.